Intraoral scanner is also called Intraoral Impression Instrument or IOS. It is no stranger to dentists. IOS is the foundation and beginning of oral digital diagnosis and treatment. But have you ever thought about the technical principle behind them and how to choose a suitable intraoral scanner? We look at the debate on the technical scheme of intraoral scanner from three perspectives: technical principle, cost and paper parameter comparison. Technically, there are many imaging principles of mouth scan, but there are three common ones. Confocal imaging technology, structured light triangulation imaging technology, light diffraction imaging technology. The representative product of confocal technology is the Trio series of 3-shape company. The representative product of structured light 3D imaging technology is Medit's I-series products. The representatives product of optical diffraction imaging technology are Panda's P-series products and Shining 3D Aural series products. Next, let's take a look at the three technical features. Confocal. The so-called confocal means that the emission and reflection light paths are focused at two positions respectively. The light beam emitting light is focused on a point on the surface of the scanned object through the small hole, and then the light reflected by the teeth returns along the optical path, passes through the dichroic mirror and another small hole, and is also focused on the sensor chip. We can notice that only when the focus of the reflected light is at the same distance from the focus of the emitted light, the light beam can be imaged on the sensor chip through the small hole. We can adjust the imaging plane of the emitted light to obtain the z-axis depth of the measured object, and adjust the X and Y positions of the focus through the MEMS galvanometer, so as to scan the three-dimensional information of the whole tooth. The principle is very simple, but the engineering implementation is quite complex, which involves four problems. 1. The focus of reflected light should be sensitively collected on the sensor chip. The QE value of the sensor chip should be high enough and the response speed should be sufficient. Simple understanding is very sensitive to light. The higher the QE value, the faster the response speed, and the higher the price. 2. A strong enough light source is required. Trios uses LED light source, which requires Trio's light source to be bright enough and heat dissipation system to be excellent enough. 3. MEMS galvanometer system. Since we just mentioned that confocal imaging can only be a point, we need to change the optical path to change the imaging position. MEMS galvanometer can change the angle of the reflecting lens to change the entire optical path, so as to achieve the purpose of scanning teeth. For depth of focus control. The control of focus depth is the key and the most difficult link of the whole confocal scheme. How to accurately control the position of focus is the core secret of the technology. I guess Trios uses liquid lens technology to accurately control the liquid lens using voltage to control the depth of focus. Although confocal technology is difficult to achieve, its advantages are also very obvious. First of all, if you can accurately control the depth of focus, X, Y-axis accuracy, then the scanning accuracy is very high. Secondly, because the focal depth can be infinite in theory, the scanning depth can also be infinite, and it is easy to scan high objects such as scanning rods. Next, let's look at structured light triangulation. Structured light triangulation imaging is a system structure composed of a projector and a camera. After the projector is used to project specific light information to the object surface and background, the camera collects the image. According to the change of optical signal caused by the object, the position and depth of the object are calculated, and then the whole three-dimensional space is restored. We can see that when the projector projects a specific pair of stripes on the person, the stripes will be distorted with the shape of the human body. According to the degree of distortion, we can calculate the depth information. When we project multiple stripes that can cover the whole tooth, we can calculate the depth information of the whole human body or object. This is the principle of structured light 3D imaging. Generally, one projector and two cameras are used for mouth scan using structured light three-dimensional imaging. The projector can cast different stripes according to needs, and the camera collects stripes. Finally, the 3D data of the scanned object is restored by algorithm. The principle of 3D structured optical port scanning is very simple, and the engineering implementation is not difficult. All you need to do is find a projector and 2 cameras, and then stuff them into the mouth scanner. But there will be some problems. First, the projector usually adopts ordinary LED light source, and the light intensity of LED light source is significantly weaker than that of laser. In this case, in the mouth, due to blood or metal teeth, the reflection of metal scanning rod, the image contrast collected by the camera is very poor, and it is difficult to scan. Second, the environment in the mouth is relatively dark, and the light intensity of the LED light source is insufficient, resulting in the need for a large aperture of the camera lens. We all know that the larger the aperture, the smaller the depth of field, so the depth of field of 3D structured light is often only about 12 to 15 millimeters. We can compare the performance of mouth scans with different technical schemes when scanning metal. The above is Intraoral 3 with laser diffraction imaging technology, and the following figure is I500 with LED structured light imaging technology. We can clearly find that Intraoral is very smooth and silky when scanning metal teeth, while the I500 is unable to scan metal brackets, and the scanning speed is very slow. This proves the superiority and practicability of laser in iOS. Laser diffraction imaging technology. It divides a single beam of light into multiple beams, and then divides the light into a matrix of points or lines through a specific diffractive lens. At the same time, it can be coated with films of different colors on the diffractive lens. Then different stripe patterns can be obtained through different light sources, and the 3-dimensional point cloud of the scanned object can be reconstructed by using stripe patterns of different colors. The mouth scan using laser diffraction imaging technology can reconstruct a 3-dimensional image with at least 2 images, which means that the scanning speed is theoretically much higher than the mouth scan using 3-dimensional structured light that requires at least 13 images. Laser diffraction imaging technology is definitely the most important invention and innovation in the history of oral scanning. It solves the problems of difficult engineering and high cost of confocal technology, and also solves the problems of insufficient contrast and depth of field of structured light technology images. The first company to apply laser DOE technology to oral scanning is Bintai Technology in China. However, laser diffraction imaging technology is not omnipotent. Its disadvantage is that the number of stripes that can be projected is too small, so the accuracy is not as good as structured light and confocal. However, from a comprehensive perspective, the technical route of laser diffraction imaging is the most suitable for the development of oral scanning in the future. In terms of cost, the confocal technology scheme requires precise optical path, MEMS galvanometer, camera and depth of focus control device. Among them, the most expensive is the depth of focus control device, which requires very high accuracy, and putting them into a small mouth scanning cavity is very high in terms of material cost, process cost and labor cost, so the terminal price of trios is generally about $23,000. The 3-dimensional structured light scheme only requires a projector and 2 cameras. Compared with confocal technology, the cost is greatly reduced. The terminal price of MEDIT is about $12,000. The laser diffraction technical scheme includes a laser generator, a decoherence device and 2 cameras. The cost is equivalent to that of 3-dimensional structured light. The P2 terminal price of Panda is about $7,500. Finally, let's compare the paper parameters of the product. As we expected, the precision of trios using confocal technology is the highest, reaching 6.4 microns, and the depth of field is also the highest, reaching more than 20 millimeters, which can easily scan the convex scanning rod or base. But the weight is slightly heavier than the other 2 models. The medium I700 with structured light technology has a nominal accuracy of 11 microns, a depth of field of 12 millimeters, and a regular size and weight. Using laser DOE technology, Panda P2 is significantly smaller than its opponent in weight and size. The depth of field of 17 mm is also sufficient in daily diagnosis and treatment, but the accuracy of 15 microns is slightly inferior. How would you choose the comprehensive cost and technical parameters? Next time, we will try these 3 scanners. Welcome to click like and subscribe. We are ROF, a technology company committed to promoting the process of dental digitalization.